What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Born ready. Back with my segment, Ego Weight Watchers. What I do in Weight Watchers is I take a look into these fighters' lifestyle, especially if they have a fight coming up, but just give you guys some progress pictures, let you know where they're at. Now, Canelo has a date. He's going to fight on Mexican Independence Day weekend, which is September 17th, if I'm not mistaken. He does not currently have an announced opponent. There's some names that Golden Boy have thrown around. Currently, I'm on Canelo's Instagram. It's verified, as evident by the blue check mark. It says verified Instagram, meaning it's official. And let's check in with Canelo, see what he had to say on Ego Weight Watchers. Now, he posted this picture. He's in damn good shape, and the caption is simple: Siempre Listo, with the arm emoji, and the translation for that is always ready. So he's showing off his physique, saying in between fights he's ready. And I like this. I like this staying in shape. That's what I like. I like the whole staying in shape. I've always been an advocate of fighters maintaining some lifestyle other than I just cut weight in whenever I have a camp and I just let myself balloon up. So I commend Canelo for staying disciplined. Like I said, he looks like he's in great shape. Now, this is a vague caption, Siempre Listo. It could be a bunch of things. It could be like he's saying I'm always ready for Golovkin. It could be interpreted as I'm always ready, like I can make whatever weight, meaning I could drop back down to 154. So maybe for a guy like a Liam Smith, or maybe he just wants to fight one of the Lions, Demetrius, Andre, the Charlo brothers, Trout rematch. I don't know, at 154. But it looks like he's in good shape. So that 1 pound, he could easily, if he's maintaining his weight like this, he can easily probably make that and shave that extra pound. He's still Canelo, his maturity, it kind of throws people off and people forget how young he is. He is 25, so that pound he should be able to shave off. He was kind of just doing that to flex some A-side muscle, and also if he was going to be in a non-title fight, then sometimes the fighters, why would they try to kill themselves and make an extra pound when they don't have to, or just have an extra pound to shed when they don't have to? So look at the comments. Pinche maricon. Wow. Cherries. Wow, they're going in on Canelo. Triple G finna knock your ass out. Puto marica. Wow, puta. Damn, they're going in on them chickens. Hey, I think the pressure is on Canelo, not for Triple G. Wow. You guys can go there to read the rest of the comments. But bottom line is this: Canelo, he's a superstar. We know that. Looks like he's in good shape. I think when he rehydrates, he clearly is weighing about what Golovkin weighs, if not more. And that's the fight that people want to see. If not, you got to fight somebody real at 154. One of the legitimate threats. You know what I mean? And to me, it's going to only look worse if Canelo is posting this, being shredded and in shape and looking jacked and stuff. And he's posting things like Siempre Listo and I'm always ready, I'm born ready, and fuck it, we Mexican. You can't keep saying these things, always ready and born ready and we don't fuck around, and then vacate your belt and not fight anybody who is a notable name at the 154 or 160 pound division. It's not a good look, especially when you're carrying the torch. Aside from Mayweather and Pacquiao, you were the biggest star in the sport of boxing. So there's a lot of pressure, and it's really a waiting game to see what Canelo decides for the quote-unquote Mexican dates when he returns in September. It's going to be really interesting to see his opponent selection. If it's somebody credible, like a David Lemieux even, that could be a challenge to him. A guy like Demetrius, Andre, Charlo brother, then he'll get a lot of credit. I don't think it'll be Triple G, but obviously he'll get a lot of credit if he were to fight Triple G. So the only downside is him vacating the belt leads me to believe that if he wants to fight Triple G, he's going to try to flex some A-side power. Like, hey, you want a good name on your resume, you want the Canelo Alvarez name, a guy who's been in there with Trout, who's been in there with Cotto, who's been in there with Mayweather, then you have to succumb and give in to my demands because I'm the A-side. So that's what that seems like to me. Otherwise, why not vacate? I get the 15-day thing, but that's not that big of a deal. They knew, Team Canelo and Golden Boy, they know that if it's under the WBC rules, they can't force the independent parties to fight for middleweight titles at the Canelo weight. That has to be agreed upon by both camps. And fortunately for Canelo, and like even Cotto was fighting at middleweights like Daniel Gill. That's because Daniel Gill, he had got knocked out by Golovkin a year prior. You know what I mean? And he fought like a Jared Fletcher or somebody else that got knocked out. And then he fought Cotto. So that was at a catchweight, I believe, of 157. Guys like that, they're willing to give in to the A-side demands because they know they're nowhere near, you know what I mean? Gill wasn't a champion. He had just got knocked out by Golovkin a year prior. So he's not really in any shape or any position to not take a big money fight. He has to look after his family. But with Golovkin, he knows that he doesn't have to necessarily, I mean, he could come down to Canelo weight, but he's still a champion and he's still a popular fighter and a guy who can sell somewhat, maybe not as much as Canelo, but he can still sell. So he doesn't have to just bow down to those demands. And I think that's kind of why Team Canelo vacated, because now it kind of puts pressure on Canelo, but it also puts pressure on Triple G, because now Triple G has to fight somebody notable too. It's not just a Canelo thing. We want to see all these fighters fight good competition. Like, it's not, a lot of people are like, oh, why don't you say the same thing for Ward? Why don't you say the same thing with Mayweather or whoever? Because a lot of those guys aren't doing this, you know what I mean? Demetrius Andrade, he got stripped. He immediately went in and had a title eliminator with a guy who's taller than him, who was perceived as having equal or more power in Willie Nelson, and he dominated that fight. And then after, he called out the Charlos, Cottos, and did interviews, said he want Canelo and things like that. I can't complain. Same thing with Mayweather. Mayweather fought Pacquiao. That's the guy that was supposed to beat him, right? He hates southpaws. He hates guys with foot speed, and he beat him easy work. So the pressure isn't on those guys. Ward is going to have a voluntary defense, and they just announced that he's going to fight in November against Kovalev. And I already knew that was the case because I talked to Kathy Duva and Ward, and the contracts were already signed. So a lot of people bring up these examples that are not comparable. Canelo's not in that position. He's 25. He hasn't won a Super 6 like Andre Ward. He hasn't nowhere near the resume. Look at it like this. Canelo and Floyd Mayweather have the same amount of fights. If I'm not mistaken, they both have 49 fights. But you name the best names and the best wins on Floyd Mayweather's resume and do the same thing for Canelo, and it's going to be a vast difference. Now, you look at Miguel Cotto. They both fought Cotto. The biggest difference is Mayweather moved up to 154, where he was the smaller guy, maybe a little bit an inch taller or so, but in terms of mass, Cotto had been fighting at 54, and Cotto is considered the stronger fighter, versus when Canelo fought Cotto, clearly there was a size discrepancy, and Cotto looked tiny next to Canelo. Looked like Canelo had a 15, 18, maybe even a 20-pound weight advantage, and I know people that went to that fight and covered it live, and they said that Canelo looked huge next to Cotto. So that's a big difference, you know what I mean? And you look at, they both have 49 wins. I understand they had a different journey. Mayweather went the amateur route. He went to the Olympics, got robbed there. So Canelo had to learn on the job at age 15. So I get that, but they still have the same amount of fights, but the quality of opposition is completely different. So people act like, oh, why did you say this with Mayweather or whatever? Mayweather has been in the sport and proven his worth for 19 years, period. Mayweather's been in the sport almost as long as Canelo's been on this earth. What are you talking about? Mayweather's been in the sport as a pro. I'm not even talking about his amateur Olympic stuff. As a pro for like 19 years. Canelo's 25. So basically Canelo's been on this earth for like 6 more years than Mayweather's been a pro. Get out of here. You know what I mean? You look at the quality of oppositions, the dominant wins. Name Canelo's Gotti win. You know what I mean? Over somebody who was bigger, where Canelo fought the guy in the backyard, or whoever. Name his De La Hoya win. Name his Ricky Hatton, an undefeated guy. You know what I mean? Like, the level of opposition is completely different. The Diego Corrales, Mayweather has bodies on his resume. So stop trying to distract from the main point. The bottom line is Canelo is a great fighter. He's popular, the most popular in the sport, barring Floyd Mayweather or Pacquiao probably. And he's still paving his way. Let him do that. So it's all eyes on Canelo to see who he decides in September, him and his team. And I can't make a valid excuse or reason why he needs to fight Liam Smith or somebody of that caliber, period. Let me know what you guys think. Ego Weight Watchers. Once again, I'm back. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you like my video. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.